What's up, my beautiful girls? This episode is Veteran Girl Power, and let's talk about what women deal with after serving. Oh, yes, y'all. We gonna talk about it.
What's up, my beautiful queens, my girls? What's happening? I am your girl, J. Marie, and you are listening to Girl Talk with J. Marie. You're also watching Girl Talk with J. Marie if you are online. So thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, y'all, it's Girl Talk, but a wise man is going to want to listen if he's smart. Now, today's episode is very special because it is Veterans Day, y'all, and we want to shout out girl power to our veterans that have served, that are currently serving even, and we just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for your service. So today in particular, we want to call this Veteran Girl Power. That's what we want to talk about. And we want to get into some things that people don't necessarily speak on. What does it look like for a veteran who transitions from being a veteran to a regular civilian? So I just been reading a couple of things, and I want to bring some things to your attention so that you can then begin to understand just how many sacrifices are made when someone gives their life over to service. With that being said, we'll roll right into my favorite portion of the show, which is prayer on the spot, y'all, because prayer on the spot is the opportunity for you to get your word and to get your prayer points. You go to the closet with this prayer and this scripture, and this is going to help us make sure that we make this world a better place as well as ourselves. Our scripture comes from the book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. And you've heard this before, but in honor of our Veteran Girl Power episode, we definitely want to touch on this. There is no greater love than this, that a person would lay down his life for the sake of his friends. I'm going to say it one more time because y'all need to hear what these veterans do for us. Y'all need to hear what the people who are currently serving do for us. There is no greater love than this, that a person would lay down his life for the sake of his friends. Now, the interesting thing about this is the veterans that we're talking about, or the people who are currently active, they don't know us. We're not their friends, but they decided because they don't even know us that they would still be strong and courageous. And I just need us to all, if you're listening to this even now, go and shout out your veteran friends. Go and thank them for their service and really understand what type of courage it takes, what type of sacrifice you have to make before, during, and after you serve. I am learning it, and I talked to, one of the guys that I used to talk to, he's a Marine, and I adore his strength. He's active, so he does different things. And when I hear what he has to do, like what he's doing right now, I'm always in awe, and it just encouraged me to be more brave in my everyday life. So people are always like saying certain stuff about what they're proud of that you're doing, like when we're marching and protesting or fighting for whatever type of justice or serving the homeless or whatever it looks like. But to me, I'm so in awe of people who are brave enough to go over in different countries and to go to places they've never been to just to protect and serve this country. So again, we thank you to our women and men, for that matter, that have served, that are currently serving. My daddy, RIP, both of my grandparents, uncles galore, that have all been a part of service. I cannot express it enough. I have to move on, but I wanted to say thank you again. So please make sure you take it to your prayer closet on how can you lay your life down some way or another. How can you serve somebody else? Now, what I really want to speak to today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about what it looks like for those women who have been given over their lives to being a veteran. You guys, think about this as a woman. We know, like, okay, we go through all these different things in our physical body because we're women. But then I think about mothers who are also veterans, who are also active in the military. What is happening in their lives? And that's the perspective. That's the point of view that I want you all to think about as you begin to educate yourself and inform yourself about their lives and what it must feel like when you have to come back to being a regular civilian. I was reading this article on militarytimes.com, And it's a really encouraging slash empowering article, but also was sad to me because what they had on here was a lady that they were interviewing. There was multiple people, but one woman in particular. This woman, she had been serving in the service under a particular area where she was reporting to the general of the Marines. And so she was on this intelligence force, and she was so smart, apparently. And she was also very active and needed. You know, she was a person who they were looking forward to sharing information and giving information that was very much imperative for things to operate the way we needed it to operate in their particular branch. Now, what was so crazy about this to me is when she was then, when she finished serving her time and she became an active, like a civilian again, basically. She's no longer being active, and she's technically a veteran. So now she's just as a civilian. She's a regular person, not regular, because I don't want to disregard what she's done, but in the eyes of the world, unless she has a uniform on, they see her as just another person. And what was sad about this article was that she left serving in these high positions to coming back to a regular civilian, and she was waiting tables. Y'all, she was waiting tables, okay? So she goes from this powerful position and being honored and adored and needed. Not to say that people who wait tables aren't. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that she had to be on this new level because she no longer had this status. And the crazy thing about this to me is, like, how does that happen? How do these people who are servants and serve our country, and this always blows my mind, outside of this woman, but she was on the team of intelligence analysts, y'all. Like, she had to be some type of smart. But then she ends up waiting tables after she serviced our country. I don't understand how our veterans are left to fend for themselves. This is something that will always break my heart. It upsets me to a certain place because as a woman, we already know that we don't necessarily get treated the right way in the workplace, and we don't get the right pay in the workplace anyway. And then for you to be that type of person who has served our country and fought in our wars, and then you can't come back and get a job that's worthy to me of the service that you gave, unbelievable. So she goes on to talk about her experience and how she was waiting tables, and because of her flexibility, since she was not a mom, and I love her transparency with that, because you got to think about this. She wasn't a mom. So she was like, I could be more flexible on waiting tables and finding some type of work, because certain people who are mothers, as well as veterans and are active military officials, they have to juggle all this stuff. It's already hard enough being a mom. I can imagine, as I look at the way my friends are, the way my mother is, how can you dare toss these people back out there without giving them some type of security? I just don't like that. And then we're talking about security and transitioning. So there's these different organizations, and I'm going to mention 3 right now, because as I was reading this article, thankfully they do mention particular organizations that cater to women who have transitioned from being in the military to being an active or a civilian, and so, or just in the regular world. And so what we want to do, if you're listening here on Girl Talk with J. Marie, all this is about is we're trying to educate, inform, empower our girls. And I also want to make sure that I teach you all, whatever I do, I really am passionate about giving and passionate about helping others. So I never want to miss an opportunity to be a blessing. And this is a strong opportunity for you to be a blessing. If you have $10, if you have $15, $100, $1,000, $1 million, whatever it is that you have to give, I strongly encourage you to find one of these organizations to sow into. Find one of these organizations or another organization that you hear of that you're able to that you're able to give to people who are going to give back to women who are in need after they serviced our country. Mentally, there's a need. Emotionally, there's a need. Financially, more than anything, there is a huge need. There's a huge need, and this goes on both sides of it, male and female. And this is Girl Talk, so we're talking about our girls. But like in reality, it's devastating to see veterans on the corner asking for money. Asking for money. It is uncalled for in America. We are so powerful as a country. We have to do better by our veterans. And I don't just say that because it's Veterans Day. I believe this every day of the year. It will always, especially because of my guy friend that I'm referring to. When I just watch everything he does, I'm just like, dang, the stuff that you do just to protect our country is selfless. So the least we can do is give to these people. So these are the organizations that you can contribute to our female veterans. Check these out. The Foundation for Women Warriors. Foundation for Women's Warriors. Final Salute Inc. is another one. Final Salute Inc. is another one. And then the last one that I'm going to share with you is Onward to Opportunity. Onward to Opportunity. Those are 3 different organizations that you can sow your money into. Put your money where your mouth is, honey. If we're going to talk about it, let's be about it. So here at Girl Talk, we like to be about it. And I would love for you all to contribute to these organizations. Google them, look them up, so that you can find a way to give to women that have served our country. The boldness and the power that it takes to serve our country. And speaking of that, I am going to shout out 3 of my girls that I adore. 3 of my girls personally, 3 girls that I know personally that have served in our country. And the first one was actually a former guest here on Girl Talk with J. Marie. And she's incredible. She's an artist. She does so many different things. She's so incredible and smart. And she's an entrepreneur. She's just a bomb. But British, we want to say thank you for your service to this country. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The next person I want to shout out for Women Crush Wednesday, the Veterans Girl edition. The other person is going to be the funny woman, Tori Hart. Tori is one of the first people to help me get pushing into my stand-up, and I always will appreciate her. Hopefully we get her on the show too soon. And then the last person that I want to shout out that I know is a veteran, that is one of my favorite girls, and she's also incredible, is, I done knocked my headphone out. She's also incredible. She is so anointed, and she can sing. But thank you so much for your service as well, Miss Jacqueline Lorraine. She is an actress as well as a singer, and she is about to be somebody's pastor on top of it all. So thank you so much, ladies, for your incredible service that you've had to this country, and all of my other girlfriends that I have not been able to notice or see or be able to say it on the show, but we thank you for your service, as well as my homies. Y'all know who y'all are. I know a lot of Kansas City folks that are veterans, and we appreciate you as well. The one last thing we're going to talk about, I'm just going to shout out this girl. She can be added to the Women Crush Wednesday pot, because she is a woman who has been named the very first Black woman allowed to join the U.S. Naval Academy. Okay? I want to shout out First Class Sydney Barber. She is going to assume the role next semester, y'all. So this is according to the press release from the Naval Academy. I think it's absolutely incredible. After more than 44 years that women were even able to join this academy, she is going to be the first Black woman to do that. And we are hype about it over here at Girl Talk. Round of applause. So I'm super duper proud of her, as well as every other woman who is shining and grinding and getting it on and popping. With that being said, make sure you keep it in mind, y'all. Remember, if they can be strong and courageous, if they can be brave and courageous and do what they've done to serve this country, to serve you, to serve me, then you can do the very same thing. So please, y'all, don't grow weary in your well-doing. Be bold, strong, and courageous. You have the opportunity to write your own happy ending. Get to writing. Don't let nobody tell you what your story gonna end up like. That's your job. Thank you to our veterans. We love you and appreciate you. To my girls, you are bomb. You can do all things through Christ. Oh, let's do it. Hey, oh, that. Make sure you follow Girl Talk with J. Marie. Like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, somewhere on here. Get it done, y'all. I'll talk to you next time. Make sure you are tuning in and share this. Tell somebody.